Welcome back, students. In the previous class of digestive system, we learnt about the mouth, buccal cavity, pharynx, esophagus, palate, teeth. And in this class, we are going to learn about the stomach, small intestine and large intestine, their structure and their function. Okay, let us start this class. Stomach. Stomach is a bag-like structure present just below the diaphragm. The esophagus, which is started in the pharynx, directly enters into the stomach. And at the junction where esophagus meets the stomach, there is a notch, and this notch is called as cardiac notch. And there is a sphincter here. The name is cardiac sphincter, and the function of cardiac sphincter or any other sphincter is to control the passage of the food. Physically, the stomach can be classified into three types. The upper part of the stomach is known as cardiac stomach. The middle part of the stomach is known as fundic stomach, and the posterior part of the stomach is called as pyloric stomach. There is another sphincter at the junction where stomach opens into the duodenum, that is the small intestine. This sphincter is known as pyloric sphincter. So there are two sphincters. The upper sphincter is called as cardiac sphincter and the lower one is called as pyloric sphincter. So if we see the section of the stomach, a transverse section of stomach can give us this kind of picture. Okay, so in the section we find around 4 layers. They are first and the outermost layer is called mesothelium, and the second layer is called a muscular layer, which is also called as muscularis. This muscle layer is made up of 3 types of muscle: longitudinal muscle, circular muscle and oblique muscle. Existence of oblique muscle is a unique feature of the stomach walls because this oblique muscle is absent in the other parts of the gut. Let us see the next layer is submucosa, and the innermost layer is mucosa. The function of this mucosa layer is to secrete the mucus. Okay, and at middle we will find the gut cavity where the actual food passes. Let's see further. The next part is small intestine. Small intestine considered as the most dynamic part of the digestive system because most of the digestion take place here. Digestion of carbohydrates starts in the mouth and digestion of proteins starts in the stomach, but actual conversion, actual chemical process take place in this small intestine. Small intestine consists of 3 parts. In that, the first part is called duodenum, the second part is called jejunum, and the third part is ileum. So let us see where they are located. Duodenum is the shortest part, which is the immediate opening from the stomach. Okay, and the next part is called jejunum, little longer than the duodenum, and the highly coiled long tubular folded structure is called ileum. This is the ileum, and there are glands in the intestine. These glands are called as intestinal glands. There are 2 types of glands here, the Brunner glands and crypts of Lieberkühn. Location is also given here. Brunner's glands are located at the submucosa of duodenum. So when we were learning about a TS of stomach, we have seen the layers around the gut. In that we found mesothelium and muscular layer. Then comes the submucosa. Submucosa is the second innermost layer, and in that we find this Brunner's gland. And crypts of Lieberkühn, these are also glands located in the mucosa of ileum. Mucosa is the innermost layer of the gut. There are folded parts, finger-like structures that are present in the stomach, and they are called as villi. Villi increase the absorption surface so that all the food molecules pass through the membrane and mixes with the blood easily. Let us see the picture of the villi. Look at here. This is the structure of villi, and villi will consist of small microvilli. This folded structure increases the absorption surface. Suppose if this is the small intestine, we will find folds in the small intestine. Okay, these folded finger-like projections are known as villi, and villi are supplied by the blood capillaries. So these are the blood capillaries. The food which is present in the gut, whatever the digested food molecules are there, they are absorbed and they are mixed into the blood, so that all food molecules are supplied to every part of the blood. This is the function of belly. Let us learn about the large intestine. Here is the proper picture of the villi structure. So this is the small intestine, okay, and you are able to see the folds in the inner surface, and if you take the single fold, a single finger like projection, it appears like this, and this is the villus. Okay, a single villus. Villus is supplied by the blood vessels. You can see here they are all blood capillaries, because they transport the food molecules, and if you see the surface of the fold like structures, we can see small projections. They are called as microvilli. Okay, let's go to the next slide. The large intestine is the shorter than the small intestine, but it is larger in the size. You can see here there are 4 parts we can see in the large intestine. They are cecum, colon, rectum, and anus. These are the 4 parts. Let us look at them. Cecum is the first part of the large intestine. So the ileum of small intestine opens into the cecum. Here we find the sphincter, ileocecal sphincter. I already said sphincter is to control the passage of the food. And immediate next part is colon. Colon can be subdivided into 4 types: ascending colon, horizontal, descending, and sigmoid colon. Ascending colon, the name itself says that it is going upwards. So this is ascending colon, and the next one is horizontal colon because it is horizontal in shape. The next one is called descending colon, and the last one looks in a sigmoid curve called sigmoid colon. So the colon is the storage place of the undigested food, and most of the water is absorbed by this colon. Let us see next the rectum. Rectum is a temporary storage of the feces. Feces is nothing but the undigested food which has to be eliminated from the body. And the last part is called anus, and anus is an external opening, and it has 2 sphincters, the internal sphincter and the external sphincter. I'm drawing here. Suppose if this is the anus, so anus will have upper sphincter which is called internal sphincter, and the lower sphincter which is external. So the internal sphincter is involuntary in function, and the external sphincter is the voluntary in the function. So we are all know about the entamoeba histolytica, which is a parasite. It resides in the submucosa of the large intestine. Okay, so if you see the structure of large intestine, you are able to find a strip like structure, a ribbon like structure all over its surface, isn't it? This ribbon like structure is called as tinea. Okay, so tinea coli, the ribbon like structure is called tinea coli, and large intestine looks like there are circular parts in it, isn't it? So each circular part is known as haustra. The circular part is known as haustra, and the ribbon like string that you are able to see is called as tinea coli. Okay, each tinea coli is made of 3 bands. Okay, so this is about the today's class. In the next class we will be learning about physiology of digestion, that means the chemical process which is there in the digestion. Okay, thank you dear students.